This is the Neoliberal Round podcast.
There is breaking news on CNN. Utah charges alleged Kirk shooter with murder. That's what's coming in. That's what's breaking right now. Says it will seek the Justice Department says that it will seek the death penalty against the 22-year-old suspect. I have a lot of breaking comments to make. The first comment is that we're learning that the shooter, the 22-year-old shooter, the 22-year-old young man who shot and killed Charlie Kirk himself grew up in a Republican household, in a Republican home, a white suburban young man. We are hearing from the reports earlier that there was a conversation between between Robinson, the shooter, and his roommate or his boyfriend's roommate who happened to be changing sex. It's quite interesting. In the conversation, the conversation between these two guys, according to the shooter said at one instant, the shooter says that mentioned the fact that that his dad was becoming a diehard MAGA fan, a diehard MAGA supporter, a diehard quote unquote racist. That's what according to the conversation between the two. In addition to that, we are learning. Okay, so here it is that he grew up in a. So we're talking on the issue of radicalization. I don't know about what radicalization. So the question. So Trumpists and many Republican radicalists are trying to make create and make an event out of this by pointing finger on the left, saying that that the left had radicalized him in order to do what? In order to go to war and then threatening liberals and other liberals and liberal institutions that they're going to go to war because of. But now we're learning that there is no way that this guy could have been radicalized by the left. I mean, there's no way. There's no way that people put themselves in certain situations, yes, but no one deliberately radicalized this guy or put him. In fact, this is, if you study psychology and understand what's happening here, you understand two things. One, his father he was becoming a liberal. He started dating in response to his father becoming a MAGA supporter. Soon after Trump stepped into office, his father became more and more involved and enticed and wrapped up in MAGA in the MAGA bandwagon. At the same time, he didn't know what was going on in his house. His son, yes, was becoming rebellious. And when you have what you have is rebellious, because here it is a young man don't like the. So he was becoming opposite of what his father was. That's what in many households. If you study parent-child relationships, if you study developmental psychology, and you look at what's happening in many households, or in certain Christian households, the issue of rebellion. Many young people rebel against the rules. Many young people rebel against authority. Many young people rebel against certain positions. This young man took his rebellious position to the next level. He knew that this would have upset his father. He knew that this would have upset his family. It's like a Romeo and Juliet story. Romeo and Juliet are not supposed to be together because their families are two different families and they don't get along. But here it is that so they did the opposite of what their family wanted. They did what their family hate. This young man did what his dad hate, what his family hate, what his dad was becoming. His dad was becoming a MAGA maniac, so to speak. Yes, can we say that? I mean, a MAGA maniac, gentlemen. And you when you look at the opposites of contrast, when you study science and look at how one thing become opposed to the next, how radicals are developed, especially within the home. A young man decided to become the opposite of what his father was. His father became a MAGA Trump maniac. He didn't like it, and so he did the opposite, and he decided that he was going to become a liberal, an ultra liberal, dating a trans. We don't know if he was a liberal, not a political liberal, but he started to date a transvestite. It's quite interesting. In terms of as a rebellious position. It has nothing to do with radicalization, it's rebellion. It has nothing to do with its intelligence. A young man took an intelligent decision, to become what his father was not. And then he became rebellious. In fact, he became what Cain was. Like what Cain, but of course, I don't know why he became what, I mean, this is quite an interesting story. This is quite a young man radicalized. Not radicalized by the left or the right. If anything, I thought he would become what his father was, but no, he became what his father was not. Say, for example, I grew up in a Christian home. Many people grew up in a Christian. Some of my brothers rebel against having to wake up 7 o'clock in the morning. In fact, some people become atheist, the opposite of theist, in rebellion to what? So, people need to look at what is going on in your home, politically. And stop pointing fingers on Democrats or the liberals. Stop saying that the Democrats are radicalizing people and creating and trying to create more problems where there is none. Renaldo, McKenzie of the Neoliberal podcast. It was a quick note live. What good?